Barriers that prevents church growth. A barrier is an obstacle or an object that prevents movement or an access. It's a blockage, so it prevents things from actually going through. The first barrier is lack of unity. Some churches lack unity and they know it. The constant fighting over everything is dangerous, but more commonly, churches avoid conflict entirely. Embracing healthy conflict will unlock new levels of unity when channeled in a productive manner. It's easy to confuse camaraderie with unity. Getting along and even a shared doctrinal statement does not mean your church is unified. True unity is achieved by creating a shared dream and plan for the future. What is your church's vision? Declining churches usually give dozens of different responses to the question. Most people have no answer, while others intermix personal ambitions or copy an outdated statement from an old bulletin. Until everyone in the church is headed in the same direction, your church won't be fully unified or healthy, and the path forward must always be defined by leadership. Churches that lack a shared plan benefit from an impartial outside voice. This allows for accountability, encouragement, and guidance to navigate the common pitfalls and struggles of experiencing breakthroughs. The second barrier is the lack of momentum. This is a common statement we hear, the lack of momentum. The unfortunate reality is it is entirely possible for your church to have lots of ministries, spend lots of monies, and work really hard without having much to show for it in the end. Maximizing church health is hard work. Building sustainable momentum takes concentrated effort. Too many church families are plagued with programs, events, and ministries that do not work toward the common goals they have set. It's frustrating to see lots of activity, but little momentum. A common misstep here is to think that by charging the window dressing that you can achieve deep change. Churches will do things like update their website, hire new staff members, or they'll give a facility a facelift. When these things don't deliver real results, churches feel frustrated. The real solution to a lack of momentum is alignment. The key to alignment is replacing problematic thinking with integrated thinking. Struggling churches often fall into the trap of viewing their church through the lens of a patchwork of individual ministries. They have Sunday school, they have a men's breakfast, a women's knitting circle, and more. These ministries aren't bad as long as they work in concert with each other to achieve the church's big picture vision. Being aligned means knowing the difference between a good idea and the right idea. If your church is lacking momentum, seek alignment. You need to know how your core values drive ministry decisions and how your ministry structure impacts your goals, visions, and even your daily tasks. If the plans you have today cannot prove alignment at the most granular level, chances are your church isn't gaining much momentum. An effective strategy is only as good as the leadership you have implemented it. That takes us to barrier 3, which is the lack of manpower. Even when you have clearly aligned plans, your church can still be dysfunctional. This occurs because of the lack of manpower. Churches struggle to make an impact without effective leadership and teams to facilitate the vision. Make no mistakes, the Holy Spirit brings power, but overextended leaders teetering on the edge of burnout are little good for their churches. Doing everything as the pastor is equivalent of trying to light up a large auditorium with a single 75-watt light bulb. You need more leaders to make the room brighter. Don't make the deadly mistake of powering through a strategic planning process all by yourself. Be honest about the strengths and vitality of your team so that you can continue making progress. The solution for lack of manpower? Empower more leaders. Building a leadership pipeline is one of our core passions. It's the pathway to empowered leadership. Investing in the habit of empowering leaders and teams is a vital practice central to the success of your church. Empowerment is defined as the intentional transfer of authority to an emerging leader within specific boundaries from an estimated leader who maintains responsibility for the ministry. In other words, empowering leaders in your church is about giving them the freedom to dream and permission to lead. To truly break through this barrier, empowered leadership has to be extended beyond the same 20% of your congregation who already pull most of the ministry load. And this concludes today's lecture. Thank you and God bless.